Hey, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ivy, and today, hold on, I need to there's a charger on the ground that I need to move. Okay, today I'm going to be talking about Clockwork Angel by, no, that's not the right one. Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is yet another Shadowhunters book. I know that's literally all I've been talking about lately, but that's all I've been reading, so yeah. This is the third book in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and there's gonna be spoilers in this video, so goodbye if you have not read the series. Alright, this is the ultimate love triangle, and I mean, just personally, it's the best one that I've ever encountered in life, in my 15 years of living. Usually in love triangles, it's, you know, the one person is into both other people, but then those two people kind of clash, but not so in this series. There's so much love between all three of them. It's perfection. It was done so well. It gave me so many emotions, and I'm so in love with all of them and their relationships, and wow, I don't even know how Cassandra Clare did it, but it's flawless. Jem Carstairs is for sure one of my new favorite characters of all time, across everything. He's no Samwise Gamgee, but he's still up there. He goes through so much pain, and it's mind-boggling to me how he's still functioning, and not just that, how he's still such an amazing person. I don't even know what I would be like in his position, but definitely not kind and caring and loving and understanding. I love him. If I could date a fictional character, it would have to be him. The prologue of this book was freaking fantastic because we got to see what's-his-face's Starkweather's granddaughter going crazy, which at this point, I was like, okay, that has to have a bigger, implication. Little did I know what a big deal it would be. But we also got to see the scene where Will and Jem met for the first time, and for me, that just really set the scene and set the tone and threw us right back into our strong attachment to these characters, and just starting this book made me feel like I was going back home. Kind of in the beginning of this book, we get the confrontation between, our Institute peeps and what's-his-face, Benedict Lightwood, who has turned into a giant worm. First of all, this is absolutely hilarious. I love how mostly Will was just having a field day with how funny this was. But at the same time, I felt so bad for Gideon and Gabriel. Their father just turned into a worm! Especially Gabriel, since he stayed with his father. And, obviously he's made some questionable choices in his life, but can you blame him? This kid, all he's ever known is his dad, and he's going to, protect that and just try to be loyal to that until he can't anymore, which, thank goodness, he finally realizes, hey, maybe my dad wasn't the best dude in the world. Maybe, there's people I could be aligning myself with who have better morals. And I love seeing his growth. In the last book, whatever the middle book is called, I loved the Consul Wayland. I thought he did a great job of, handling Benedict. But then in this book, he's such a buttface. All he wanted was power to stay in his family. And he was a sexist piece of poop. I swear, I'm so glad that the Lightwood brothers messed with him the way they did. Jem has run out of Yinfen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's run out of the drug that, keeps him alive while also killing him. And then we get the letter from Mortmain, and this was one of the best scenes ever that I've read by Cassandra Clare. So we get this letter and a little bit of the drug, and Mortmain's basically yo, if you give me Tessa, I'll give you all of the drugs. Oh my god. Naturally, because, you know, Tessa and Jem are engaged at this point, she's like, bruh, I'ma go. Like, at this, you're dying. I need to save you. But then Jem doesn't want her to, so he throws it into the fire. You didn't have to send Tessa, but you could have at least kept the little bit that was given. And then Will puts his hands in to, you know, save it, and I was just, oh my god. I just, wow, the love that these people have for each other is next level. This entire series, you know, I've kind of known, like, this is not going to end well for Jem, especially having read The Mortal Instruments. Like, I kind of know how this goes, but especially, like, this point on, this entire book, I was like, oh crap, like, this is gonna really, really hurt me. Jem writing that song for Tessa and that scene was another beautiful one that I really loved, just like the way music was brought into it and how, you know, that's kind of how Jem, you know, expresses his feelings and his love for Tessa. My heart, it was so full and yet so broken. And Jessamine is supposed to come back to the Institute and she is arriving, and then automatons attack. A lot happens. Jessie dies. And I was like, okay, I really did not like her for obvious reasons, but I was still sad, obviously. She was so broken after being in the Silent City. It was heartbreaking. And I kind of wish that she hadn't died, because I feel like it would have been a very interesting dynamic if she had, you know, come back to the Institute. But Jem collapses, and that's kind of the beginning of the end. Whew! Tessa is captured by the automatons. So let's talk about Cecily for a second. I really enjoyed her. She kind of came out of nowhere, obviously, but, you know, I really like her and just kind of her spirit, and she's like, you know what, Will, I'm here, you're gonna deal with it. She's like immediately a fantastic shadow hunter, which is a little unrealistic. Like, she's been there for not that long and she, you know, killed Benedict, which I was like, okay, like, slow your roll. Will decides, obviously, as everyone knew he would, that he's going to go after Tessa, and then he has to say goodbye to Jem, because they both know Jem isn't gonna make it. This is the first scene where I cried when they had to say goodbye to each other. That whole scene, I was a mess, especially when Jem found out that Will was in love with Tessa, and instead of being mad, he was like, good, like, that means I trust you so much more to, you know, bring her back safely. I was just like, how is he even a person? This is so not fair. Why can't he be real? I fully expected Will to die trying to save Tessa. In the carriage with Tessa and Mrs. Black. Mrs. Black is a stick. I love... so weird, and I was like, what the fork is going on? But I had a good giggle out of that. Then Tessa jumps out of the carriage, and I was like, what are you doing? And then the angel saved her and, like, went full-on angel mode, which was pretty cool. The scene where Will thinks that Jem is dead was another one that completely shattered my heart. He, you know, was fighting all the werewolves, and then Woolsey Scott came in and was like, Will, stop, you have to go get Tessa, like, I know sucks, like, it sucks balls, but you gotta go. I was really impressed with Woolsey, like, good job, my dude. Then we get some big reveals, because Starkweather comes to the Institute and talks to Charlotte. We finally learn about Tessa's parents. Mortmain wanted revenge on Starkweather, so he switched Starkweather's granddaughter Adele with a mundane girl when they were, like, really little and, like, no one noticed. So obviously the mundane died when she was marked, and that's why she went insane, because it wasn't a shadow hunter, she was just a normal girl who happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. The real Adele, so the shadow hunter, grew up without knowing that she was a shadow hunter, never got marks, and she's Tessa's mom. Because she was never marked, when Mortmain sent a demon disguised as her husband, they, you know, had some fun times, and because of the not being marked thing, they were able to have a kid, because usually Shadowhunter demon babies are stillborns, but not this time. I love how everything comes together and connects in, like, all Cassandra Clare books, like, woo, fantastic. We also get the full extent of Mortmain's plans finally, because we were kind of in the dark. Like, obviously we knew he's gonna do some bad, evil things. Basically, he wants to start a totally new race of shadow hunters, but with demon blood to make them more powerful and, you know, to take over the world and stuff. He blackmails Tessa into changing into his father by saying, like, yo, if you do this, I will send all of the Yin-Fen to Jem. Little does Tessa know, it's too late now for Jem to be helped at all. So Tessa agrees, she changes into Mortmain's dad, and then she can't stop herself, which was weird and, like, scary. She can't stop herself from telling him the binding spell that he needs for, like, evil stuff. Then, oh my god, Tessa's angel is ethereal. There's no way I'm saying that correctly, but the angel from the Mortal Instruments, what? That floored me. So Will finally gets there, and then they get stuck together. Oh god, poor Will. And then they have sex, and like, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Your boy Jem just died, and I know y'all are going through it, but do you really need to have sex, like, the day after he's dead? They did also think they were gonna die, so I guess there's that. Meanwhile, though, the council is attacked, and Consul Wayland bites the dust, and I would say that I was sad about it, but I'm not. Magnus finds Tessa and Will and immediately knows what they did, and I feel bad for Magnus at some level, because, you know, obviously he's into Will. So there's that giant room full of automatons, and Henry's, like, kind of poking around in one to, you know, find some stuff out, and then it comes to life. And, you know, it takes out Henry, Charlotte, and one of the brothers, like, so fast. I thought all three of them were dead for a hot second. So then, you know, we're fighting. Jem is there as a silent brother, and I was like, what? I was so confused, because apparently, like, it takes a lot of time to, you know, fully become a silent brother, so that's why he was there and able to talk and stuff. Like, I knew that Jem became a silent brother, so I wasn't like, oh my god, but it was still exciting. I was happy to see, you know, Will and Tessa realize that that was him, and I was like, yes, you go, Jem. Can we talk about Bridget for a second? She's such a badass. And I feel like she's just such a side character, and then, you know, all that's really mentioned about her is her songs, which are hilarious, but then all of a sudden she's, like, killing things left and right, and then it just, like, it says that, and then it goes away from Bridget. Like, I want to know more about this girl, Bridget. Mortmain shows up, you know, we have the final villain, like, I'm gonna end everything, but then Tessa turns into her angel, ethereal, I don't know, and she changes into the angel, and that was pure genius, and I'm so proud of my girl Tessa. So, Tessa is, like, out of commission for a little bit, but she gets better eventually. And then we have the wrap-up, which so much goes on at the end of this book. Jem, as a silent brother, so Brother Zachariah or whatever, comes to say goodbye to Will and Tessa, because he's going to go to the Silent City. He's not going to be able to see them anymore. And that was really emotional. Like, I feel like we had to say goodbye to Jem 50,000 times, and every time it got worse. I cried so much throughout the last few chapters in the epilogue. It's not even funny. Like, I was on my floor hyperventilating and just not okay. After Jem has said goodbye, I think Sophie did tell Jem that Tessa loved Will, I think. So, you know, he knows that they're gonna, you know, be in love. I love that scene where Will is reading to Tessa after Jem leaves. And this entire series, I've just loved how books have been such an important part of their relationship. I think it's so cute. It's so relatable. We have a time jump, and Sophie ascends, and this made me so ridiculously happy. I've always loved Sophie, like, so freaky much. Jem's uncle, Elias, shows up to, like, the Christmas party, and he tries to give Will Cortana, and I was like, wait, no, no, that can't happen, because I know from the Mortal Instruments that Emma Carstairs has Cortana. And then he didn't accept it, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Also, Jessamine's ghost? Will talks to Jessamine's ghost, and she's like, yeah, I protect the Institute now. And then I remembered from the Mortal Instruments how Sebastian and his people couldn't get in because of some weird power it alluded to, and I was like, oh my god, that was Jessamine. And then the final chapter, not the epilogue, but the final chapter ends with Will, Tessa, Cecily, and Gabriel going to the Herondales, to Will and Cecily's parents, and it was like, that is the most perfect way that it could have possibly ended, because like Will's whole arc, it's just like the perfect ending. Like, then we have the epilogue, and oh my god, what a beautiful epilogue. We kind of get a rundown of Tessa's life up until this point. Tessa and Will got married and they had kids. They named one of them James. Will was able to get old and, you know, die. And Jem came at his deathbed. I was crying a lot. Cecily ends up marrying Gabriel, which, like, I guess it's fine. I just feel like there was really no connection with them. I mean, there kind of was. I feel like it was kind of forced, though. Like, not everyone needs to end up together. I do really love Gideon and Sophie. I'm so glad that the two of them married. Henry and Charlotte had kids together, and that just makes me so happy. And also, Henry was paralyzed, but this is gonna sound horrible, but I feel like if anyone was paralyzed, Henry would be able to handle it the best, because, you know, he just tinkers all day, so, like, it's fine. Obviously, Tessa lives forever, so all of them are dead now. She's learned a lot from Magnus with how to cope with the pain of that. So Tessa and Jem every year have met up at the bridge. Tessa goes to the bridge thinking it's just going to be another annual meeting, but then Jem shows up, not as a silent brother, as Jem, and like, obviously I knew that was going to happen, but I was still so happy. And they decide that they're, you know, gonna get back together, and then I just, oh my god. My heart was so happy and, like, so sad all at the same time because of all that they lost, but all that they gained, and they're back together after all this time, and they still love each other so much, and oh my god. So, that is how it ended, and I went through an emotional roller coaster, but I love these books, I love these characters. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye.